We cannot succeed without the support of our people. I am happy to see that the reaction throughout the country is favorable. I have received hundreds and hundreds of telegrams from all corners of the Philippines congratulating you and incidentally me for the proclamation of martial law, for the sudden cessation of anarchy and of criminality throughout the land, and of the re-establishment of an atmosphere of brotherhood amongst Filipinos. Now everybody seems concerned about his neighbor. Now everybody seems to be involved in the destiny not only of himself but of the entire country and of the entire nation. And this is what we have been hoping and praying for. At the same time, we will protect business. We will protect investment, but not to the extent that business and investment will dominate the entire scene, dominate the Philippines, and that they shall dictate and rule the country. No. The business section need no fear whatsoever. As I have said, the soldier is not only courageous, he is not only humble, he is fair, because that is his standard of not only living, but his standard for performance. That is his very life, that is his very meaning of his being a soldier. Fairness and justice. And so you tell each and everybody that they can expect fairness, justice.
Dala niya yung brown envelope. Tinignan ko, nandun lahat yung mga ginawa na orders. Sabi niya, as of 9 o'clock tonight, we'll be under martial law.
Bilang Defense Secretary, si Enrile ang mamamahala sa buong operasyon.
Lahat ng kapangyarihan ng martial law sa akin iginagsa. Arrest warrants, curfew, travel, media control, lahat sa akin dinelegate yun. Tawag nga sa akin si Julie designated representative.
Gabi ng September 22, 1972, inumpisahan ng militar ang pagdampot sa mga kalaban ng Administrasyong Marcos. Pinangungunahan ng oposisyonistang si Senador Benigno Aquino Jr.
We have tangled almost bitterly since 1966, up to the very day of martial law when I was picked up. And from the day I was detained, I have not stopped fighting your Commander-in-Chief. One, I caused the publication of articles denouncing how Mr. Marcos murdered democracy in the Philippines published in the Bangkok Post and all the leading newspapers of the world in 1973. Two, I have fought Mr. Marcos in the Supreme Court. First, Aquino versus Military Commission. Second, Aquino versus Secretary of National Defense. 3. Aquino versus Comelec. These are 3 landmark cases of the martial law regime. And it is this only accused who has ever brought these charges against Mr. Marcos. Your Commander-in-Chief, and I called him a usurper, and I told the court that he murdered democracy in this country and established a totalitarian regime and robbed the Filipino people of their freedom. I told that to the court, and it is public record.
Marcos also exploited and abetted lawlessness and instability, and now Duterte seems to be doing the same thing with his war on drugs. Marcos exaggerated the communist threat. I have here documents that show that Marcos himself told the U.S. ambassador then that, you know, the communist threat was not something that he could not handle. And yet his proclamation, 1081, said that the communist threat was what made him impose martial law. By the way, the imposition of martial law by Marcos was thoroughly illegal under the 1925 Constitution. I was actually no rebellion or invasion, but he used the word in the Constitution that said imminent danger thereof. Our Philippine Constitution is patterned after your Constitution. We have the same Bill of Rights as your Constitution, but Marcos, when he fashioned his own Constitution, also reflected the same Bill of Rights.
Do they trust the president more than they trust martial law per se?
Martial
Declaring
law
martial law
is
into
not
the Philippines.
self-executing. It is a power that may or may not be exercised by a president if he does not want. But he may be forced by the exigencies of national events in the society to exercise the powers, the ultima ratio, as they call it, available to a government, not to protect himself or his position, but to protect you and the public so that the country will not be damaged and the people will not be injured.
Sa ilalim ni President Duterte, sa tingin niyo po ba siya ay magiging responsable sa paggamit ng martial law?
You have to trust him. You voted for him to become president. If there's no one else that can exercise that power except only one person, and that is the person who was selected by the people to be their leader.
I would like to ask in behalf of the SOCMED community and all the supporters of the President what he thinks about our initiative to call for revolutionary government.
Alam mo naman, I mention it in passing. At ito talagang mga kritiko, hindi naman mediocre yun. They misquote everything. And I said, sabi nila nagtanong is papaano kung magkaroon ng revolusyon, magbababa daw silang yung mga red fighters nila. Sabi ko, well, okay man lang yan. Huwag lang yung madugo. At saka kasali yung lahat ng opposition. Tapos yung the ship of state, that was my predicate. Doon ko yung base na kung ship of state, yung bayan natin sa itatagilid at matutumba, magpipilitan akong ayaw ko ng martial law. Sabi ko, revolutionary government na lang. Kung tatagilid yung barko, magandang biyahe ngayon. Even if there is a storm once in a while, okay naman tayo. But if the state is about to lose its identity, the government breaks down at babagsak, ang duty ko is to protect the people and preserve the country. So, do not destroy the government na talagang matutumba to. Kasi mga sundalo, pati ako, hindi kami papayag ng ganun. And it's not even called martial law or whatever. It's a matter of a duty na protektahan namin yung bayan natin. Ganun lang yan. Hindi yan martial law. Nothing to do with martial law. It is an issue of preserving the nation. Wala akong sinabi na mag-martial law ka lang o magpunta ka ng gira. Ang predicate ko was, if the ship of state is listing, nakatagilid na, at baka matutumba talaga, magpipilitan yung ako, sabihin ko sa mga sundalo, pati polis, anong gusto ninyo? Kaya kung gusto niyo kayo, o di sige. Sabihin ko hindi ko kaya. Parang pagka sinabi ko na, ito gawin ko, may suporta ba ako sa inyo? Wala. O di wala, sibat ako. Kayo na lang. Save the country. Kung ipasa ninyo doon sa kabila, the ones that are really revolting and destroy my country, mahirap yan.
Sir, we have, si Sir Philip Salvador is here. We are all part of the citizenry who are willing to initiate, to give the powers of revolutionary government to the President. Maliliit na tao lang naman kami, but we can do our best to unite the country towards that when it's the right time, sir.
Yeah. Basta ito, wag lang nakataya ang bayan. We can have differences, issues, okay lang yan. Wag lang pag-usapan ang bayan ko, pati yung criminality. Kasali na ito.
I have not grabbed power as some people would put it. In the first place, I was duly elected as president in 1969. If it is of any meaning at all, the Supreme Court has just sustained that decision of our people, indicating that the elections were clean and that the majority of almost 2 million indicated the will of the people. Secondly, the Constitution of the Philippines is an articulation of what the people desire. And in that Constitution is included the exercise by the President of the powers that I am exercising now under the conditions thereof. Those conditions are that there is invasion, insurrection, rebellion, or imminent danger thereof. This matter has been studied to a point where the Supreme Court, our own Supreme Court in the Philippines, in the case on which a decision was promulgated on December 11, 1971, that there does exist a rebellion by another armed force other than the armed forces of the Philippines, of the government, which seeks to grab political authority by violence. Therefore, if there be a rebellion, and since the public safety requires it, the exercise of this power was declared valid, legitimate, and constitutional by our Supreme Court. In every rebellion, there is a second way. And right now, the rebels, the insurgents, are engaged in the regrouping, reorganizing, and remounting a rebellion. We have just apprehended, if you will remember, around Manila, the arms of the urban guerrillas. Elections for the Batasan Bayan, there is a statement to the effect that there are no elections in the Philippines. That's not quite true. We elected the members of the Legislative Council. And the contests about legitimacy of my government was an issue that was raised in the Supreme Court not just once, but repeatedly. They questioned the proclamation of martial law. They questioned the legitimacy of the entire government. They questioned the constitutionality of my actions, everything, even the expenditure of public funds. These have been raised to the Supreme Court.
Would you say that there is, in any sense, comparable the crisis of the Third Republic in France and the crisis of your antecedent government? That is to say, when de Gaulle came to power, he came in with a new constitution that allowed him to suspend the legislature.
Except that, yes, it is true, except that in my case, the Constitution already provided for martial law authority. The Constitution, under the 1935 decisions of the Constitutional Convention, provided, in case of invasion, insurrection, rebellion, or imminent danger thereof, when the public safety requires it, the President may suspend the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus or proclaim martial law throughout the Philippines or any part thereof. This existed then, and I employed it. I had utilized first suspension of the privilege of the writ of habeas corpus after I used the armed forces. They were unavailing. And since they were inadequate to meet the crisis, I had to proclaim martial law. I asked Congress to do it, and they said, we don't have the power to proclaim martial law. I asked the courts to intervene, and the court said, we don't have the power. The power is in your hands. You assume the responsibility because you're president. So that was it.
Thank you very much, President Ferdinand Marcos.
Thank you.